Okay.
You have been such a force in your entire career. This is a business part of an extension of your artistry and your music. How does this fold into, you know, your stepladder in life? Where does this rank?
Well, this ranks way up there. Of course, I love everything I do. Everything started with a song and my music, but Dollywood was one of the big dreams of mine. And now that we're doing this big extension, where we're actually over the next 10 years, we're going to be spending about $300 million, and part of that's going to go to a resort called the Dream More Resort. Everybody's, from the beginning, has wanted to have a place, you know, they want to have a place to come where they could stay here on grounds. So this is a big deal to us, and then half that money, of course, we're going to just be adding more rides and more things to the Splash Country and to Dollywood and Dixie Stampede. So we got money to spend, and people are coming in, and money to share and fun to share. So this is a big announcement for us, the resort.
I just was reading a little bit about your book. How are you able to keep this spirit that you have going for all these decades? You know, I remember, I'll never forget 9 to 5 and that era for you. What has that been like your entire life when you look at this?
Well, all of my life I wanted to sing, I wanted to get out there, I wanted to travel the world, I just wanted to be out there, and whatever I had to give, I wanted to give it, and I loved receiving back, you know, the love from the fans. And so I not only love the music, I always love getting involved with the business stuff. I have a lot of energy, and I just really, it's good for me to channel that into wonderful things rather than turn it in on myself and eat myself alive. I'd rather create something great for other people. But my life has been wonderful since I was young. I just have a great spirit. I have a lot of faith in God. I've had a lot of wonderful people behind me and supporting me. So I can't take all the credit, but I'm just happy to be part of a wonderful life.
Your parents, I read a little bit about your mom and dad. How important do you think it is for children to have strong parents or a strong person, a force in their life, an adult? What impact did it have on you in creating who you were, or was it your spirit regardless of who your parents were, you think?
Well, how does one ever know who all influences them in all the ways that they do? I think if you're lucky enough to have good parents, especially a good mother, and I think the mother usually has such a force, but also a great dad. I had a wonderful dad, and they were very compatible with each other. My mom was very spiritual, very outgoing, very musical as well. My dad's people were very strong, hard workers, you know, just really no nonsense, even though they had a great sense of humor. But I think I got a little bit of mama and daddy, but I do think that children are influenced by their parents, and if you're lucky enough to have them. And my little song, Coat of Many Colors, kind of talks about, you know, the strength of family and of life, and just what it's like. You don't have to have money to be rich in spirit and in attitude. So I really do think it's important, but I'd like to think I'm one of those kids that would have, you know, made it anyway, but who's to say, who's to know?
What do you think about the resurgence of Jolene? Would you sing a little bit for us? Can
Jolene. In which voice do you want? The
Jolene. I love it. Can
Jolene,
you do both versions?
Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, Jolene, Jolene.
That's the slow
Actually, I'm
version.
thinking I have to do a video of that male. For those that don't know what we're talking about, someone somewhere actually took Jolene, my regular voice on the record, and brought it down to like, what, way down to 78, or not 78, to 33.
Something like that, yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, they slowed it down to where I sound like a male. And it's really getting a lot of attention. So I thought, well, maybe I should dress like a boy and sing it.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Like Boy George, I could be Boy Dolly or something.
What is your, Brian has this question. Where is Brian? There he is over there. He wanted me to ask this question. What was your favorite role? Is that the right question? What was your favorite role of all the ones you've played, and why?
Well, I've enjoyed doing all of them for different reasons, but probably my favorite will always be 9 to 5, because it was the first movie I did. So it's kind of like a first love. You may have other great loves, but you'll always remember the first one. So that one, because it started everything for me. But I've had fun with all of them.
Okay, my favorite scene, no question, is, and I think a lot of people, when you got to hoist up Dabney Coleman with those chains. What was that scene like for you? Did you get a kick out of it as much as we got a kick out of watching you doing it?
I think we all did. I mean, everybody's wanted to string up their boss at one time or another, don't you think?
Yes.
And I know I have at different times in my life, but when we were actually doing that, Dabney was such a good sport too. But we really had fun doing that, and everybody liked that. Little kids just loved that movie, and one of the things they liked about it, in addition to that little fairy tale part, they loved it when we were stringing up the boss and seeing him all hanging around up there. But that was a fun movie all around to do.
We're from Asheville. I know this is a big travel destination. Is there anything that you have a tie to Asheville or Western North Carolina? Because I'm sure, you know, when I put together the story, I want to include something that might tie it back to my area. What would you say about that area and the people that come, or do you have a tie at all to Asheville?
Well, I love Asheville. My husband and I often go over there. We love the Biltmore Hotel, and through the years since we've been married, which is 48 years, we've probably been there at least 8 or 10 times, you know, since we've been married. We love going over there. We like to buy our own picnic stuff or pack a picnic lunch from here at my Tennessee mountain home and go over and spend the day in Asheville. It's beautiful. I love North Carolina.
And just as far as songwriting, and I know I'll wrap it up, where did that talent come from? And I mean, do you continue to write? And was that a gift from God, or did you foster that through your life?
Well, music ran in my family. I can't take credit for that. That goes back as far as anybody can remember on my mother's side. And I did certainly develop it. I saw early on that I could make a living doing it, that I could make a business out of it, whereas for generations we just sang and nobody really thought about it that much as a business, just as a fun thing to do. But I decided early on that I would make that my career, to sing and to write, and I've tried to develop it every day. I try to improve on things.
Anything about Kenny Rogers? Do you remember that? My mother loves Kenny Rogers. What was that time like for you then?
Well, I love working with Kenny Rogers. We had Islands in the Stream and a few other hits, and we've just recorded a new song that's going to be out pretty soon with a video. So I'm excited about that.
And then a quick thing, what are the things that you just mentioned that are you're more excited about? Lifetime movie and a couple other things that you mentioned?
Well, I'm excited about all of it. I love what I do, and it's like I've got a lot of work to do. Of course, you heard us talking about Dollywood today. I have a new CD coming out in the late fall or early winter, and I'm going on tour. We're going back to Europe, to Australia. We're going to be doing some shows here in America. And we're doing some concert shows here to benefit the Robert F. Thomas Foundation and the Dollywood Imagination Library.
Okay, I'll wrap it up. One quick thing, if I could get you to say hi to Asheville or something,
okay.
If you wanted to say that, because we'll run that tonight.
All right. Hello, Asheville. It's Dolly. I've always loved you, and I will always love you.
All
See
right.
ya.